good people. Let's do our next example on the if else statement. And right now I'd like us to do an example on age. Let's do something on age. So I'll do equals 3.py. Now, so what are we trying to do? What we're trying to do is check if the user is an adult or a minor. Yeah, so that's basically what we're going to do. So first we're going to have a static age. We do the if else, and then we're now going to take the user input. So let's start with our static input of age being 19. So now our if else, we said if has a condition, then it outputs the truthy, and then else output the false. So we're going to say if our condition will be if age is greater or equals to 18. 18 is the legal age where a person is said to be an adult. So if you either equals or greater or equals to 18, you will say you are an adult. What of if it's false, if you're 16? So say else, you print, and you can see my statements are indented already. So we say you are. Yeah, so let's clear this. We say 5. Example 3. Sorry, I've done a mistake. It's Python. Yeah. No, it's our naming is different right now. I've used if. Sorry, I should have input if underscore L3. Yeah, this is where our file is, whereby we're being told you are an adult. You can see from the output here that you're an adult. The reason why the first line is being printed is because it is true. So here we say true, and here is false. That's clear. False, true. Now let's take an input from a user. So to take an input from a user, we want to say age. We're going to use the same variable name. We want to take it's an integer. So then we get an input from a user. This is how to get an input from a user. Then then we say enter your age. Basically that's it. This is how to get an input from a user. So we did an our statement. Now we can be able to manipulate and get the different outputs. Yeah, I hope this is clear on how to get an input from a user, or basically if else, where we check the age. We check if the user is an adult or a minor. Let's do another example. Okay, we can do 3 examples and then we can. So we'll say if else. We've done 3, so we'll do 4.py. Now for this one you're going to use to check weather. Check weather and advise the user whether to carry a sweater or not. So basically we're going to check the weather we're going to check the weather. If it's above a certain degrees Celsius, we're going to say carry a sweater. If not, go without a sweater. So if the temperatures are low, so we're going to say this temperature, and we're going to say 18 degrees Celsius, right? So we're going to say if temperature, right? If temperature is greater, it's greater or equals to 30, right? Then you can go without. You can say if temperature is greater or equals to 30, what happens? Because it's hot, you don't carry a sweater. What if it's less than that? So we say else full colon, and then you print. Carry a sweater. Now this is an example. It doesn't mean I've just picked any temperatures to use for our example. It doesn't mean the temperatures are correct. So if we run this statement, we run this file. So it's for our output is carry a sweater. Why carry a sweater? It's because the temperatures are low, so it might rain, right? Now let's as our previous example, let's take an input from a user. So we'll say temperature is equals to int. It's an integer. You want to get an integer from a user. Then we take an input, right? Then we output what we want the user to. So you can say enter. Right. So basically, this will ask the user to input a temperature. To make it readability, we can do this, and we can restart it again. So if we say 35, don't carry a sweater, because it's more than 30. It's more than 30. If we say 12, temperature is so low, you have to carry a sweater. I hope that's clear. When the temperatures are low. And now another instance where we can use our if else statement is when we're doing let me call this grading. Use small letters. When grading students in school, it can be hard for a teacher to go through each example, through each mark, and manually input the grades of students. So we want to have the marks of a student. We want to use first a static example, and then we can change to input. So we want to have marks of a student being 65, right? And since each marks carry different value, so we say if marks. Now, for this case, I'll continue in our next scenario, where we'll be covering the if else if scenario. But right now, I'll just do a grading of we grade only A and B, right? So we'll say if the marks, we'll just want to compare marks for grading A and B, then we'll carry on this example in our next scenario. So if marks are greater, normally greater or equals to 90. Maybe there's so a full colon, then you click enter and print. grade A, then F. So if you do not score, if your marks are not 90, we're going to say grade B. I have said we'll continue from this in our next scenario when we're talking about the continuation of if else. So we do Python grade. Okay. Sorry about that. Means it's less than 90. So if the student had 90, we'd have grade A. I hope that's clear. We'll cover more about this. We'll continue from here in our next example. So I'll get back to this once we get there. I want to do bonus one, where you get bonuses. Get bonuses on get bonus on number of items, right? On number of items. So if we say we have a bonus is equals to 11. Again, we are assigning a variable named bonus with a value of 11, right? So we say if now our statement comes like if bonus is equals to now we are now comparing what the bonus value is. So if it's 12, we go to say number of items. Sorry, I did not enter number of items here. We should have a say number of items. Number of items is equals to, so that we know what the base we are working with, equals to 44. Let's change the bonus value to be 15. So we say if bonus value is 14, let's just write that. Yeah. So number of items is equal to number of items plus. So we increment. So if your bonus value is 14, we increment the number of items by 3, right? So are we having an error here? Bonus is 14. Okay, let's see if the else will solve this. Else number of items equals to number of items plus 6. So basically we're trying to say if bonus is 14. Okay, what's the error I'm getting? Sorry about this. So what I'm trying to say is if the number of items is 44, the number of items is 44 and the bonus is 15, right? So we are trying to say if bonus is 14, number of items equals to number of items plus 3. Else number of items equals to number of items. Basically we are incrementing the number of items based on the bonus you have. Let's see the error we're getting here. I don't want to input. Okay, so okay, fine. Then I'll want to print the number of items we have. So number of items I usually have. So basically we'll just see what the user will have. So bonus 1. Sorry. sorry, I'll have to change this to, okay, that was wrong. I hope you did see where I was going wrong. I had named the variable name different from that's what I was told right there. So let's rerun our example. So in our example, the bonus we have, the bonus we have is 15, and we are trying to say if it is exactly 14, you add 3. If it's not exactly 14, that's why we have 50 being the answer, because it's 44 plus 6. Let's do an example whereby we change this to 15 so that it exactly matches the number of bonus. So if you can guess already, the answer to this won't be 15 anymore. It will be 47 because it's 44 plus 3. Here in the example, we want to see we're trying to get the exact number, get the exact value of bonus. So if exactly 15, here we're not trying to show a range as we've been doing initially, but here we're just trying to map the exact value. I hope that's clear. We've done a bit of examples whereby it is exact, it is a range, it's less than or equals to, it's greater or equals to. So I hope that's clear about our examples on the if-else statement. In our next recording, we're going now to move to so we've done the if-else. So our next example in branching will be if else if. Basically this will have three conditions: one for if, one for if else, one for else. Now that's clear. Now we've done two. We've done one for if, we've done for if, one for if else. Now we're trying to add another if else to an if. So basically we will do that in our next recording. And let me see that in case you have an example, you want us to handle an example, let me know, then we can take you through, we can do a recording on the same. I hope this has been clear. See you in the next one.